So recently I've set a new challenge on this channel where I have to obtain 50 trophies before the end of 2025 or else I'll have to, I don't actually have a punishment yet, so I guess I'll just skydive off the Eiffel Tower. Today we are platinuming Batman Arkham Asylum with 48 trophies including 2 missable trophies, as well as a 6 out of 10 difficulty. I would have to complete the story, solve all 240 riddles, and complete these insanely hard challenges. Anyway, I began phase 1, which is to complete the story on hard difficulty. So let's begin. The game starts with us driving to Arkham Asylum with a Joker in the backseat. Once arriving, Batman just had to pose for the camera real quick. Assuming something was wrong with how easily Joker was captured, we personally escort him to his cell. Little did we know we wouldn't see the outside world for a long time. Can we also just mention how good the Joker looks in this game compared to more recent adaptations? Anyway, after a small run-in with Killer Croc telling us he's going to eat me,
I've got your scent, Batman.
we arrive at the cells where the Joker gets the better of these 2 officers, absolutely destroying this one's testicles in the process. I feel your pain. He fully gaps it and leaves us with henchmen to deal with. This section is essentially the tutorial, and it's also where I obtained my first trophy for achieving a 5x combo. Combo multipliers in this game will be very important later on, but all you need to know is that if you chain constant attacks and evades together without getting hit, you can increase your combo. Anyway, I got another trophy shortly after for hitting a 10x combo. After this encounter, we start to follow the Joker until we reach this barrier where a guard is being held hostage by this psycho. So being Batman, I go save the day, which gets me the trophy Shocking Rescue. Harley Quinn then jumps on the security cams and reveals she's taken the warden hostage and that Joker and his goons have taken over Arkham Asylum. Absolutely fantastic. It's also revealed that Joker has placed bombs all over Gotham so no one is allowed on or off the asylum, forcing Batman to do this all alone. Anyway, while working my way through Arkham, I reached the first missable trophy called Leave No Man Behind. Essentially, this room is filled with gas and I have to save all 3 people in here. This was pretty easy to do and it's made easier to dismiss balls so early in the game. Also, it's a very Batman thing to do to save this last person, but since they're a goon, he just KOs them instead. So after obtaining that trophy and continuing through the prison, I come face to face with the Joker and he unleashes this beast on me. So I take quick care of him, which gets me another trophy. Joker then reveals that one of the guards has switched up and captured Commissioner Gordon. So this being our new objective, we track the guard's scent to hopefully get some leads. Once arriving at the elevator, Harley Quinn makes our lives more difficult by casually blowing it up. So we climb up and reach the first stealth section of many. If you ever see the screen as purple or grey, it's the detective mode, which allows us to see enemies and other gadgets or collectibles. So after using wall hacks on some enemies and a couple silent takedowns later, we arrive at the trader's dead corpse. Yeah, apparently he wasn't much use to the Joker anymore, so he offed him. Anyway, since the door behind this guy is locked, we find another way out of the facility to continue to search for Gordon. Once reaching the surface, I got the trophy Born Free. We then went to the Batmobile to collect an explosive device, and we used this device to make our way into the medical center where Harley teased us by putting a barrier at the entrance. So, being Batman, we climbed up onto the roof and blew our way in. After helping save a couple doctors, because why not, I got this trophy for hitting a 20x combo, and then I got a trophy for saving all 3 doctors. Anyway, continuing to track down Gordon, I hop in an elevator but then get attacked by some fear gas. So Batman starts tripping out, seeing these people die, seeing Gordon get dragged away like it's a goddamn horror movie. And then reaching this morgue where he hallucinates his dead parents. What kind of drugs did Batman take? Oh, it's Scarecrow. It all makes sense. So we play this like side-scroller boss battle where we have to avoid Scarecrow's glare. It wasn't too difficult, but you did have to try and understand where to go else. Anyway, after completing that by pulling a Harry Potter, I got a trophy. We then come to our senses, complete a stealth section, and finally save Gordon. The Joker then points us in the direction of Bane, who breaks free and throws us through a wall, probably shattering many bones in the process. We've now arrived at the first boss fight where we have to fight Bane. And I won't lie, I did die a good handful of times. I'd also like to point this out now that the combat in this game is so satisfying. Each hit feels so good. But anyway, once I studied his moves and with a little patience, I was able to defeat him and that got me this trophy. He came back for seconds, but then he just got absolutely denied. So yeah, we saved the commissioner, but there's still heaps of criminals loose. So after heading to the Batcave to restock, yes, there's one on Arkham Island for some reason. It's revealed that this doctor named Dr. Young was working on a serum called Titan, which can provide anyone with the big boy power of Bane. And Joker's essentially come here to steal it and take over Gotham. What a brilliant idea. So after going back to the surface, we enter Arkham Mansion in hopes of finding Dr. Young. Entering the mansion also gave me the trophy Breaking and Entering, so yeah. Anyway, after fighting through the mansion, saving these hostages, and completing another stealth section, you know, the normal Batman thing, we locate the formula and destroy it so it can't be replicated. Unfortunately, there is still a completed batch that Dr. Young currently has with her, and to make things worse, Batman's just been sprayed with more feared gas. God damn it. So we hallucinate again, this time reliving that fatal night when Batman's parents were, misplaced. After seeing Seeing his dead parents, we become little Bruce Wayne who looks like a bobblehead. Anyway, enough insulting children because we have another Scarecrow side-scroller, yay. This one was also pretty easy unless you fail to get the right timing. But shortly after dying, I completed the second Scarecrow side-scroller. God, that's a tongue twister. And it gave me a trophy. Anyway, after that, we finally found Dr. Young and took care of the crazy dude again to save her life and get us this trophy. She goes to grab the completed batch, but wait, it's already been yoinked by the Joker? Yeah, she blows up and dies. So now our only hope is to destroy the main production facility of this Titan serum. To do that, we need to track down Harley so we can find the Warden and use his special codes to gain access. After tracking Harley's movements, we find the Warden in the penitentiary. Harley then releases Poison Ivy just because she feels bad, I don't know. So the Warden gives us the code and we go find Harley Quinn to stop her annoyances once and for all. Once we reach Harley, it's time for another boss fight, which consists of her sending guards out and sometimes shocking the floor. Very boring boss fight. I'd also just like to point out how cool it is that when you die, one of the characters will just roast the shit out of you. Anyway, after defeating her guard, she comes out and gets absolutely slapped up. She also accidentally tells us that the Titan facility is located in the Botanical Gardens. Dumb bitch. Then lock her up and get the trophy solitary confinement. So now we head to the Botanical Gardens, where after a couple of stealth sections, we hack our way into the Titan facility. Oh, and look who's waiting for us. Joker shows us how the Titan serum works, so I have to take out these two absolute units. Because I already learned how to take out Bane, this fight wasn't too hard, and once I finished them off, I got the trophy Double Trouble. After that, I blow up the Titan facility, and it's revealed that the Titan antidote has to do with plants. So who better to consult than the best herbologist around, my local Poison Ivy. Anyway, once locating Poison Ivy, who's just lounging in the way, she tells us that spores required to make the antidote are found exclusively in Killer Croc's lair. Didn't he say he wanted to eat me?
I've got your scent, Batman.
Well, ignoring all signs of a suicide mission, we start making our way towards the sewers. Joker then hits Ivy with some of that Titan serum, so she starts putting plants everywhere. But that's the least of our concerns right now because we need to head to the sewers. After trying to find another entrance through the intensive treatment building, this happens. Yeah, my game crashed. Oh wait, what's that? Wait a second, this isn't right. What is going on? Batman dies? Rip Bruce Wayne? Oh, it's Scarecrow? The game had me fooled. Anyway, after defeating the last Scarecrow side-scroller, I got this trophy and could finally be done with Scarecrow. Oh no, wait, he escaped through the elevator? Well, I start running after him and eventually reach him in the sewers. But then Killer Croc comes out of nowhere and... Honestly, thank you, Croc. So now that Scarecrow is officially dealt with, I make my way into Croc's lair to collect spores. In this section, you have to crouch across these boards, else Croc will hear you and just eat you. Anyway, I made my way through collecting spores until the vial was completely filled. I then just had to make my way back, and then I completely outsmarted this fool. That also got me another trophy. So yeah, I make my way to the Batcave and craft the antidote, but after making only one, I was really interrupted by Ivy's plants. Yeah, we couldn't just ignore her anymore, so time to go hunt Ivy. I made my way across this cool parkour section and eventually reached this room, but before I could go back up to the surface, I had to fight this room full of enemies. As much as I'd like to think of an alpha gamer, this was extremely hard. You're in this small room with a Titan, and after getting each health bar down, goons flood the room, so you have to dance around them while fighting this Titan. I died a lot during this fight. I even got a trophy for hitting 10 thugs while on the Titan's back. Eventually I defeated the Titan as well as the thugs, and god, it felt good. So yeah, I took one last look at this room, and then off I went to fight Poison Ivy. Obviously she was in the Botanical Gardens, so once I went to the last place I saw her, there she was. She merges with this huge plant, and essentially her boss fight is dodging these twigs and dodging these spores while spamming batarangs. That's it. Although unlike Harley Quinn's fight, I actually didn't mind this fight. It was low-key kind of fun getting the correct timing down, but as all bosses do, this one died to my beautiful bat explosion, and it gave me a trophy. Then I just dipped, and now it was time for Joker's party, where we can finally come face to face with the Joker and stop his plans. But first, we get the second missable trophy, Party Pooper, for killing all thugs that are celebrating our arrival. Essentially, once we show up, we are greeted by these gentlemen who invite us inside. But for this missable, we have to beat them up. And then once we go inside, we have to attack all these people clapping for us. So I go the only route I know how. Once I finished all of them off, I got the trophy and the last missable. Yay. And then I just admired the pile of dead bodies I left behind. Anyway, once we go inside, we are greeted by the man himself, who unleashes Titans and thugs on us. Luckily, I've had practice for this and easily decimate all of them. After that, Joker shows us that he's recaptured Gordon and he tries to shoot him with the Titan, but I jump in the way because I'm so heroic. Joker then shoots himself with the Titan and becomes one. We are then taken onto the roof where Batman uses the antidote on himself and we enter the final boss fight. This fight was kind of anticlimactic. For each phase, you run around in a circle avoiding Joker's attacks, fight off his goons, then pull him down with the grapple and beat him up. Repeat this for another 2 phases and that's the boss fight. Very anticlimactic. But after the fight, Joker goes for one final blow and we clap his booty cheeks with more explosives. And that just about wraps up the story. He gets locked away and we fly off into the distance. For completing the story on hard, we get 3 trophies, 1 for each difficulty because yes, they stack and I only had to play the story once. But anyway, it is now time for phase 2, which is the collectibles. In this game, there are 240 riddles, which are broken down into these categories: riddles, Riddler trophies, Joker teeth, Chronicles of Arkham, and patient interviews. And after collecting all of those, I'll get all collectible related trophies. So during the story, I had already completed 50 riddles, which sped things up a little bit. I followed a guide that I'll link in the description to allow for optimal speed when collecting. But yeah, you get trophies for reaching certain percentages of riddles complete. So I got trophies for 5%, 10%, 25%, 40%, 55%, 70%, 85%. And then for completing all riddles, I got Crack the Enigma. For collecting all Chronicles of Arkham, you also get this trophy. Honestly, the collectibles in this game were actually quite enjoyable and it didn't take long whatsoever. I also loved the sound it made whenever you went to the menu after solving heaps of riddles. During this process, I also obtained this miscellaneous trophy for gliding over 100 meters. But yeah, with that, I had successfully solved all 240 riddles and it wasn't even that bad. Now, as you can see here, my game is currently sitting at 84% completed. And that's because we are up to phase 3, the challenges. They are essentially split up into two categories: combat challenges and predator challenges. In each challenge, you have to get all 3 medals, and these challenges obviously get progressively harder. So I started off with combat because those would be the hardest one. To get medals for combat challenges, it's all about hitting a certain score. And to build up your score, you just have to keep your combo going and try not to get hit. The reason people say these are so hard is because the combat is quite unforgiving and it's not a button masher, so you have to have intent with your clicks. Since I've played Arkham Knight in the past, these challenges weren't as hard as I expected, and you know, I'm just an alpha gamer. So not to bore you, I'm just going to highlight trophies I obtained. During the first challenge, I got a trophy for completing an entire challenge without getting hit. The next trophy came in a later challenge when I hit a combo score of 40, and then for completing all combat challenges, I received 3 trophies in total for getting 8, 16, and 24 medals. I then moved on to the predator challenges, which I know a lot of YouTubers would enjoy. These are just stealth missions, and to get all the medals, you have to complete 3 specific tasks. This one, for example, I had to perform a silent takedown, kill someone via a wall blast, and perform a ground takedown. So I just followed a guide for these because some of these scenarios are insanely specific. Anyway, for completing all of them, you get 3 trophies again, one for 8, 16, and 24 medals. I also got Perfect Knight for completing all challenges and achieving them 100%. Now I just had a couple of miscellaneous trophies left. One was for completing a predator challenge with just silent takedowns. I got another one for surprising an enemy with a hanging body. I took a Titan out with no batarangs for another trophy. And finally, I left this miscellaneous trophy for last so I could of course get a beautiful platinum screenshot. I simply just had to catch my own batarang using this remote controlled one. And there we go, I popped the trophy as well as the platinum. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. The story was pretty good, the collectibles were fun, and they added to the world building, and the challenges weren't as hard as I thought they'd be. My only criticism is the last boss fight, but apart from that, this was a very good game, which is why I'm going to rank it an A tier. Thank you for watching and comment any games you'd like me to platinum next. Goodbye.